We started coming to Lake Point about 3 years ago, and we were what we would consider casual tippers. When the plate would come by, we would put a 20 in or 50 in, just whatever we felt like at the time. And then Pastor Greg gave a tithe challenge, and we just thought, well, we really don't have anything to lose. He's issued this tithe challenge. If we truly tithe our 10% and we don't see that we're blessed, or we feel like we're financially strapped or whatever, we can always get it back. So let's just give it a try. And so we actually took the hokey tithe challenge. That's how we felt at the time. And we've actually never looked back.
We were having financial struggles. I kept thinking, how do you get to tithe? Where does that extra money come from? How does that look like? It doesn't say that you start tithing once you have all your financial life squared away. It doesn't say that, when you're debt free and everything's hunky-dory and you've got extra money laying around, that's when you start to tithe. You tithe now. It's just kind of like with in your sin. You don't have to be sin free before Jesus wants you. He wants you now. It took rearranging our finances. Then we started out and we went for the first month. I said, okay, here we go. We're going to write the check. And I got paid on the 1st, and I think the next Sunday was on the 3rd or 4th, and we wrote a full 10%, and then we started from there.
We ended up having a meeting over at Olive Garden with Pastor Greg one evening. I told Pastor Greg at dinner that evening, this is what we're going to commit a month for the next year. And so figuring 10% in your head is, you just move the decimal point over and you got it. About 2 o'clock the next morning, I woke up in a cold sweat saying, that ain't 10%. It's a whole bunch more than 10%. And I got my annual and my monthly and my weekly confused. And so I called up Pastor Greg and said, hey, I made a little mistake here, a big mistake, and what I told you. But what we think we're going to do is just go with it and see what happens.
I was trying to build my business, and it wasn't going so well. It'd been 3 years trying to do it on my own. And they started talking about tithing, and I was like, that's the one thing I haven't let go of. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And we started tithing, and I was tithing off of my income from my other job and my business. Within 30 days, though, my business doubled. Another 30 days went by, and even that doubled. And it was just, God, it left no room for doubt that it was God blessing us. And, we've continued in that, knowing that it won't always be in money form. But, the saying's true, you can't outgive God.
At the end of the month, we didn't miss it. We still had everything that we needed, and we were able to keep moving forward. And so it went on from there, 1 month at a time.
And here it is 11 months later, and we're still eating and driving and all of that and having a good time. So it's all worked out,
Sometimes we didn't know if we would, make it through the month until the next payday. But it always seemed to happen as long as we were honoring God and doing what we felt like we should be doing. And that was just tithing.
I don't worry with the money anymore. I know that it's going to be taken care of. I know that He's always going to provide that next job because we are obedient. We have said, this is yours already. We're just giving it back to you instead of hanging on to it. And so that stress of money just isn't there like it used to be.
I think the reason that we were tipping before is because that's what I had always seen. I knew that the tithe was 10%, but I think I kind of thought of that as a suggestion. Also, I thought God kind of counted my talents and my time as my tithe. I didn't see it all as financial. So that's what I had to step out in faith and do, was truly give Him what belongs to Him.
Not until recently have I come to realize that He wants us to love Him in a way that's just what we want to do. We want to obey Him in that way.
I would say to people who don't tithe or who have not truly been tithing, giving their 10th, I would say definitely try it. Step out in faith and just be obedient to God. And He will truly show you all the plans that He has for you, and it will really change your heart. I know it changed our heart and just the way that we live.
When we started tithing, we just saw God moving. I would say, I know for a fact that it's hard. It's hard to put that money out there when you know you've got bills due. But, you know, it's being obedient to God, and I promise you, you will see the blessings in return.